What is your favorite Futurama quote? Brannigan. You see, killbots have a preset kill limit. Knowing their weakness, I sent wave after wave of my own men at them until they reached their limit and shut down. Kiff. Show them the medal I won. I always liked the ones with a bit of actual science behind them. No fair. You changed the outcome by measuring it. Professor, dear Lord. We're under more than 150 atmospheres of pressure. Quote. Fry. How many atmospheres can the ship stand? Quote. Professor, well, it's a spaceship, so I'd say anywhere between 0 and 1. Mind the Keeler gap. A gap in Saturn's rings with a small moon in it. Third and third milk. Bender. Shivering. It's so cold. My processor is running at peak efficiency. Yup. That's whatever you were talking about for yaw. Dear Lord. That's over 150 atmospheres of pressure. Quote. How many atmospheres can the ship withstand? Quote. Well, it's a spaceship, so I'd say anywhere between 0 and 1. When do we get the free slurm? Soon enough. That's not soon enough. Fry's opinion on the Hypno-Toad. Mind control show that doesn't work on the exceptionally stupid. This show has been going downhill since season 3. Quote. A mysterious man approaches you, offering $1,000 if you can make him laugh. What's your joke? The Pope decides to take a cross-country tour across America, beginning in California and ending in New York. Somewhere in the Midwest, the Pope-mobile breaks down, and while it's repaired, the Pope continued his journey with a limousine rental. After a few hours, the limousine driver rolled down the glass partition and spoke. I know I'm not supposed to talk to you, Your Holiness, or Highness. I'm not even sure what to call you. Quote. It's okay, my son. Say what you want to say. Well, when they told me who I'd be driving, I was really thrilled. It's such an honor. And if there is anything I can do to make it a better trip, I'll do my best to make sure it happens. The Pope thought for a while, then replied, You know, before I became Pope, I really enjoyed driving. I would drive for hours. But now, no one will allow me to drive anywhere. Would you mind if we switched places and I can drive? Quote. The limousine driver agreed and the two switched places. After a while, the Pope became relaxed, turned the radio on, hung his arm out the window, and just enjoyed cruising. However, not aware of his increasing speed, he was soon pulled over by a motorcycle cop. The cop walked up to the limousine, saw who was driving, said, Excuse me, Your Holiness, for a moment, then returned to his bike and got on the radio. Chief, I think I have a problem. I believe I pulled over someone pretty important, and I'm not sure how to deal with it. The chief responded, Don't tell me you pulled over a state representative again. Johnson? Quote. No. I think this person is more important. Not our governor? Quote. No. I believe more important than the governor. Johnson. Tell me you didn't pull over a presidential motorcade. No. They may be even more important than the president. What? Really? Who's more important than the president? Quote. Hell if I know. But the Pope's driving. How much does a chimney cost? Nothing, it's on the house, ha 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 ha. 3 Western spies were captured and put in a cell in the Soviet Union. An English spy, a French spy and an Italian spy. First they interrogate the English spy, but he refused to speak. So they tie him up and torture him for 2 hours until he finally gives in and tells them everything he knew. Next, they interrogate the French spy who also wouldn't speak. But after 4 hours of torture he also couldn't take any more and told them everything he knew. Finally, they interrogate the Italian, who also wouldn't speak. So they begin to torture him. After 4 hours he still hasn't spoken. So they continue torturing him for hours. After enduring a full 24 hours of torture, they give up and put him back in the cell. The other two spies are amazed and ask the Italian how managed to go on for so long without speaking. The Italian replies, "I would have told them everything after just 1 hour. But I couldn't speak because my hands were tied up." What do you call a boomerang that doesn't work? A stick. Edit. My most upvoted comment. Thanks guys. This is my step ladder. I never knew my real one. Bob and his grandson are sitting on a bench at the top of a hill overlooking the town. He points to the statue in the center of town and says, "See that statue? Boy, I made that statue. But do they call me Bob the Mason? No, they don't." He then puts his hand on the seat of the bench they're on. "See this bench? I built this bench with my own 2 hands. But do they call me Bob the Carpenter? No, they don't." He then sighs and says, "But you fuck one goat." Who's your favorite comedian? It used to be Mitch. It still is, but it used to be, too. David Mitchell! Exclamation mark. Not the Cloud Atlas author, but the star of Peep Show. Exclamation mark. George Carlin. I have recently been introduced to the infinite wisdom of Norm Macdonald. That old chunk of coal can sure tell a joke. Dylan Moran. James Acaster. What's the best name for a cat you've ever encountered? My cat's name is Murgatroyd. My grandma's cat is Dollarcat. Guess how much she cost? And when she had kittens they were penny, nickel, and dime. A family near me has a thing for hairless cats. They have a blast with names such as Newt Gingrich and Scarlet O'Hara. There are many more that I can't remember. But they were all awesome. A cat named Yardstick because it only had 3 feet. My siblings and I found a kitten that was dumped and brought it home. My dad, who is not a fan of pets, said to us, "If anything gets broken because of that, I'm gonna chuck the cat outside," so we figured we had to name him Chuck the Cat. My cat's name is Dio technically, but we call him Holy Diver. If all dogs go to heaven, which animals go to hell? Bedbugs. Cockroaches, the flying ones. Unless there's an extra hell. Then they would go there. Mosquitoes. Mosquitoes. Ever heard of the children's book, Why Mosquitoes Buzz in People's Ears? Quote, "The mosquito lies to..."
Subscribe, my brothers.